and welcome back to my film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And I'll probably raise a few heckles or hackles with this one because I've watched a film that a lot of people have given a lot of love to, and I didn't particularly think that much of it. It's okay, it's not a disaster by any means, but I'm not believing the hype. I'm not believing how much love there is out there for this one. So once watched, easily forgotten for me, but we're talking people using words like classic and stuff like this. But anyway, let me know what you think, because it's all about opinions. This is my opinion on One Battle After Another, a 15 certificate, 2 hours 41 minutes. That was a battle in itself, getting through this. An action, dark, comedic drama thriller, many other things as well, written, produced and directed by, of course, Mr. Paul Thomas Anderson, who I've liked some of his stuff, I'll admit. William Bibiani, the rap, said about this: Anderson has stuffed so much into one movie that a lot of people will find something to take away from it. I did. All I see is a lack of focus. Yeah, so Paul is pretty much, William is pretty much on Paul. Sort of a bit like me, a bit of in the minority, a big minority. And he's pretty much alone of the critics in his criticism. Alex Godfrey from Empire magazine sort of summed up other people's opinions as far as the critics were concerned. He said, in years to come, when this appears on TV late at night, I might use it to nod off to. It'll be impossible to switch off, he says. It's just one of those films, a stone cold instant classic. There you go, the word classic. And yeah, it's probably impossible to switch off because your batteries have gone in your remote control. I don't know, you get off your ass and turn it off at the mains. Anyway, I wasn't impressed with this, as you can probably gather, but it does have its moments, put it that way. Please, guys, before I talk or try to explain why I didn't particularly like it, press that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe, not already done so. If you enjoy the content, as I said, I'm sorry I can't be more positive on this one. If you like it, my apologies, but I'll explain hopefully a little bit of why not. And of course, if you can give us any hype points, guys, if you like the channel and you want to help the algorithms of the channel, help me get out there. You have the hype button now, don't we? So if you can press that on YouTube, that sort of helps the channel out. And there are other ways of doing that as well, but we'll talk about that later after we've gone through this review. This was inspired, the film, by the 1990 novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon. It stars as the main guys in this: Leonardo DiCaprio, very good; Sean Penn, very good; Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, Chase Infinity, all good in their own way. Not characters I sort of like, though, in fairness. And it's about an ex-revolutionary. I don't know how true this is to real life. I have no idea. It all seems very messy to me. He's forced back into his former combative lifestyle when he and his daughter become pursued by a corrupt military officer. Yeah, I just don't know how these sort of people have, are not been picked up at some stage by the authorities. But as I say, I don't know. I'm that. Usually, if I watch a film and I'm interested in it, I'll find out a little bit about the background. I'll find a little bit about the truth, and I couldn't be asked finding out much about this. I just didn't like most of what I saw on screen. Its budget originally was about $115 million. I think it ballooned to about $175 million, so it became a bit of a project or a pet project for Anderson, which I always find a bit of a worry anyway. And it's released on September the 26th in the US, so we'll check your territories about availability. I'm doing this review here in the UK on the 15th of October. Right, I'm far from, as I said, I'm far from convinced. I think I've probably, you realise that so far, that this is the best thing since sliced bread. I did want to keep watching, don't get me wrong, it was over 2.5 hours. Certain things happen for me that kept me interested, certain characters kept me interested, but at least 60 to 80 minutes on the cutting room floor would have been fine for me. It wouldn't have worked in a $175 million budget, would it? You don't want to be cutting stuff like that because it's obviously the director wants to keep as much in as his project deserves, or for him anyway. But for me, just far too long. The characters generally very unlikable. Even the one you're supposed to stick up for, I suppose, the daughter, eventually becomes, it's just unlikable as well. I didn't invest in her at all, which is a shame. But the thing that kept me watching is probably Leonardo's character, as in the humour that Leonardo, the dark humour that Leonardo put into it. I didn't like his character. Does he run like that in real life? I thought he was running a bit weird when he ran. Perhaps he's getting a bit old for sprinting around. I'm not too sure. But anyway, I found his performance certainly watchable and funny, even though I didn't like the character. And the same goes for Sean Penn, of course, who I thought was brilliant. I think he sort of kept me watching at least to the end to find out what the hell was going to happen to this poor guy. Or he wasn't poor, was he? But you know what I mean, to this guy. And Penn was brilliant. Penn and DiCaprio were the only things that really interested me in this. And fortunately, at least one of them was on the screen a lot of time. So as I say, I managed to get through the 2 hours, 40 minutes of that. Chris Evangelista of Slash Film scored this 100 out of 100, which a lot did. He said, this film frequently feels like a powder keg ready to go off, and yet Anderson also keeps the film consistently fun and funny. I like that bit of it. Nearly everything DiCaprio is doing is hilarious. Yeah, that's the best bit for me. I'm sorry, DiCaprio. This is DiCaprio's film for me. The story, crap. The characters away from him. And Sean Penn's crap. Basically, didn't like any of them. Yeah, he and Penn are the best thing about the film, as I said. There were a handful of interesting scenes. I'm not too much on the action scenes. I thought they were crap. There seemed to be no conclusion to anything that went on. There seemed to be no sort of, these people weren't brought to book or anything like that. I just found one or two interesting scenes, but I think the most interesting for me was that final road chase. Reminded me of a couple of other films I've seen back in the day. They don't spring to mind at the moment, but that sort of road that all the hills on and the cars and the car chase. I thought that was a fun watch. I enjoyed that little bit of it because I'd hung on for that long, so at least because it was near the end of the film, so at least I got something, that's probably the standout scene for me away from the comedy and dark comedy of Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio. Roger Moore of Movie Nation scored this 88, so he liked it. He said, Battle is by turns serio-comic and chilling to the point of depressing. Now, I like depressing. Depressing can appeal. Depressing can be good, but in this instance, I was depressed, but not in a good way for some of this film. Keith Ulick from Slant Magazine said, Paul Thomas Anderson's dark comedy, one battle after another, turns overreaching into an art form. I think that's the artsy-fartsy side of Anderson's film here, the belief that everything he does and he's wonderful and he's so up himself in this film that it just didn't appeal to me. It just didn't. It just, as I say, and 2 hours, 40 minutes, all right, there's credits in that, but far too long. There was a decent 80 minutes in this somewhere of entertainment, as I said, mainly around the two guys I've already pointed out. But I just thought it was another film that sort of believed its own hype and sort of just left me a little bit disappointed, and certainly far from Anderson's best. I thought it was one of his worst, to be fair. I've looked back at his filmography. I thought this was one of his weakest efforts, and yet obviously you can tell he cared about it and put a lot into it. But yeah, I just thought it was one of his worst. As I said, there's no one I cared about. I just found it all a little bit too messy and mainly pointless by the end. I didn't gain anything from this. I didn't want to go away and read up about any sort of organisations like this, what they got up to. It didn't really interest me in one iota. And obviously the stuff in this, so it wasn't a film to inspire me to find out more. And apart from the one or two positives I've already mentioned, I just didn't like it that much. Although I'm not going to give it I am going to mark it. I'm just not going to give it a great mark. I'm going to mark it for the sake of Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio's efforts. But as I say, I'm pretty much alone. If you look at some of the scores, Rotten Tomatoes, 385 critics. There were 21 rotten, but 364 were fresh. The website's consensus, an epic screwball adventure teeming with awe-inspiring action set pieces. One battle after another is Paul Thomas Anderson's most entertaining film. Nope. Yet, while also one of his most thematically rich. Yes, well, I'm saying we use the word rich. Metacritic, 63 critics, 60 were positive. 3 were mixed, but no negative. Let's make that 4 mixed, because I'm not going to be totally negative. As I said, there's one or two things I thought were okay in it. Rotten Tomatoes audience, Joe Public like it, 4.3 out of 5. Metacritic users, 7.4 out of 10. Internet Movie Database, over 102,000 scores and reviews. And it's getting a pretty healthy 8.3. I mean, that's pretty high on Internet Movie Database scores. I can't see that. Based on that number of reviews decreasing anytime soon, so the score's always going to be around about that figure. For me, I am going to score it. If it gets less than a 5, I don't usually bother. If I give it a 5, it means it's okay, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it. But based on the facts, most people are loving it. I'd have to recommend it, wouldn't I? But I'm not. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. As I say, for Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn. I did find myself reaching for the phone continuously during the 2 hours and 40-minute runtime, checking things, doing other things, and just enjoying one or two moments, mainly DiCaprio and Penn. That was about it. So, a bit disappointing for me. I've seen a lot of hype on this, and I was really looking forward to it, but no, it wasn't for me. Let me know your thoughts, guys. It's all about opinions. It'd be great to have yours, please. If you do like the channel, press those buttons. If you can, you want to contact me through YouTube, be kind, guys. I mean, there's no need for insults or anything like that. If you don't agree with me, we don't agree. It's all to say. It's a boring world if we all thought the same. So get in contact with me. Or if you do like the content on the channel and want to support it, there are other ways of doing that. And to find out how to, just keep watching and listening.
Hi again, hope you enjoyed the feature, guys. Thanks for watching. Please, if you did enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up, and if not already done so, press that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, that'd be wonderful. It's free to subscribe, absolutely free. Also, check out my social media links if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. They'll all be in the description below. And my special thanks to supporters of the channel, yes, Piat6505, who have an eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia, including posters, books, magazines. There'll be a link again in the comments section. And if you're into your football, don't forget my football stuff on Manchester City for general football fans, but mainly City fans, of course. Or if you know someone who might enjoy that, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. And as ever, guys, comments on this feature is wonderful. Anything to do with film and TV, it's always very, very welcome. It's great to talk film and TV. I thank you guys for your support. Stay safe, everyone.